Do you ever feel trapped by the constant worry of what others think? It's a feeling we all share at some point, second-guessing yourself, doubting your choices, and holding back out of fear of judgment. It could be in the workplace, in social situations, or even in your personal life. No matter how hard we try, the opinions of others often weigh us down, keeping us from being our true selves. But what if I told you that there's an ancient philosophy that can help you break free from this trap? A philosophy that's been around for over 2,000 years, yet is more relevant today than ever. Stoicism offers a way to not only stop caring about what others think, but to build unshakable self-confidence from the inside out. In this video, we'll dive into the teachings of the Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, and explore how their timeless wisdom can help you let go of external validation and live a life fully aligned with your values. We'll look at why we care so much about others' opinions, the Stoic principles that can shift our mindset, and practical techniques you can start using today to gain confidence and peace of mind. Let's start by exploring the core issue. Why do we care so much about what other people think? Whether it's at work, in social settings, or even on social media, the fear of being judged or rejected often dictates how we act. We find ourselves holding back, not speaking our truth, or even changing who we are to fit into what we think others expect of us. Psychologically, this fear makes sense. Human beings are social creatures. For thousands of years, survival meant being part of a tribe or community. Being judged or excluded could mean isolation, and in ancient times, isolation could be deadly. Our brains are still wired this way. Even though modern society no longer operates under the same rules, we crave acceptance and fear rejection because, deep down, we associate it with safety and survival. But this instinct, though useful in ancient times, often works against us today. Think about it. How many opportunities have you missed because you were worried about what someone else might think? Maybe you've hesitated to share an idea in a meeting, fearing your colleague's judgment. Or maybe you've avoided posting something personal online, concerned about how others will react. This constant fear of judgment becomes a form of self-imprisonment. We end up prioritizing other people's opinions over our own, and in doing so, we lose sight of who we truly are. This is where Stoicism offers a powerful solution. The Stoics teach us that worrying about external validation is a waste of energy because we can't control what others think. What we can control is how we respond. As we move forward, we'll explore how this shift in mindset can free us from the need for approval, allowing us to live with confidence and authenticity. One of the most important concepts in Stoicism is the dichotomy of control. This idea, introduced by the philosopher Epictetus, is simple but profound. There are some things in life that we can control, and there are other things that we cannot. So what exactly can we control? According to Epictetus, we can control our own thoughts, actions, and responses to situations. Everything else, other people's opinions, events beyond our influence, the outcomes of our efforts, falls into the category of things we cannot control. This is crucial to understand because much of the stress and anxiety we experience comes from trying to control things that are ultimately beyond our reach. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the essence of the dichotomy of control. When we focus on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, and our mindset, we gain a sense of peace and power. On the other hand, when we obsess over things we can't control, like what others think, we become frustrated and anxious because we're trying to manage the unmanageable. Let's take a historical example. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoics, was the emperor of Rome. As the leader of one of the most powerful empires in history, he was constantly judged and criticized by political opponents, by the public, even by his own advisors. Yet in his private writings, meditations, Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself to focus on what he could control, his own thoughts and actions. He wrote, We care about ourselves more than other people, yet we care more about their opinions than our own. Even as an emperor, Marcus Aurelius knew that trying to control the opinions of others was futile. He recognized that the only thing he could control was his response to those opinions, and he chose to live according to his principles, regardless of what others thought. The same applies to us today. When we stop focusing on how others perceive us and instead focus on living in alignment with our values, we free ourselves from the anxiety of external judgment. We can't control what others think, but we can control how much weight we give to their opinions. And by shifting our focus to what's within our control, we can begin to build true self-confidence. Now that we've laid the groundwork, let's dive into some practical Stoic techniques you can start using today to overcome the fear of judgment and build lasting self-confidence. 1. Negative visualization. The first technique is called negative visualization. At first, it might sound strange. Why would you want to visualize negative outcomes? But here's the power behind it. By imagining the worst-case scenario, you prepare yourself mentally and emotionally for it, making it less frightening. Let's say you have to give a presentation at work. You're nervous because you're worried about what your colleagues or boss will think. Instead of avoiding these fears, Stoicism teaches you to face them head-on. Imagine the worst possible scenario. You might stumble over your words, or someone might criticize your ideas. Once you visualize this outcome, you'll realize that even if it happens, it's not the end of the world. By preparing for the worst, you become less anxious about it. Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, wrote, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming." In other words, by expecting adversity, you strip it of its ability to surprise and overwhelm you. 2. Memento Mori. The second technique is Memento Mori, which translates to remember that you will die. This may sound morbid, but it's actually one of the most empowering concepts in Stoicism. By reflecting on the brevity of life, you gain perspective on what really matters. And suddenly, worrying about other people's opinions seems trivial. Seneca often reminded his readers to keep death in mind, writing, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." When you remember that life is short, you stop wasting time worrying about things you can't control, like what others think of you. Instead, you focus on living fully and authentically. Next time you find yourself stressing over someone's judgment, take a moment to reflect. If today were your last day, would their opinion really matter? This perspective can help you let go of external validation and focus on living in alignment with your own values. 3. Daily Stoic reflection. Finally, one of the most powerful techniques for building self-confidence is daily Stoic reflection. Marcus Aurelius practiced this every day through journaling. Each night, he would reflect on his thoughts and actions, asking himself whether he had lived according to his Stoic principles. You can adopt this practice in your own life. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to journal and ask yourself, did I act in line with my values today? Did I let the opinions of others affect my decisions? How can I improve tomorrow? By regularly reflecting on your actions, you become more mindful of how you live. You'll start to notice patterns in your behavior and identify when you're seeking external approval. This awareness is the first step toward changing your mindset and building lasting confidence. Let's now apply these Stoic techniques to real-life situations that many of us face. Scenario 1. Public speaking anxiety. Imagine you have to give a presentation at work. You're nervous because you're worried about how your audience will react. Will they judge you? Will they find your ideas valuable? Here's how you can apply Stoicism to this situation. First, use negative visualization. Imagine the worst-case scenario. Maybe you'll stumble over your words, or maybe someone will challenge your ideas. By visualizing this ahead of time, you mentally prepare yourself for it. So if it happens, it won't catch you off guard. Next, apply the dichotomy of control. You can't control how your audience reacts. Some people might love your presentation, and others might not. That's out of your hands. What you can control is how well you prepare and how you deliver your message. Focus on doing your best and let go of the need to please everyone. Scenario 2. Social media stress. Let's say you want to post something personal on social media, but you're afraid of negative comments or a lack of engagement. This is a perfect situation to apply Stoic principles. Before you post, ask yourself, why are you sharing this? Are you seeking external validation, or is it aligned with your own values? If it's aligned with your values, then the opinions of others shouldn't matter. Apply the dichotomy of control. You can control your intention behind the post, but you can't control how people react to it. By focusing on what you can control, your actions and intentions, you free yourself from the anxiety of seeking approval. This shift in mindset leads to greater confidence and peace. The fear of judgment is a natural part of being human, but Stoicism offers a way to overcome it. By focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and values, you can build a foundation of self-confidence that isn't dependent on the opinions of others. As you go through your day, remember the Stoic techniques we've discussed: negative visualization, Memento Mori, and daily reflection. These practices will help you shift your focus away from external validation and toward inner strength. So the next time you find yourself worrying about what others think, take a moment to reflect. You can't control their opinions, but you can control how much importance you give to them. By living according to your own principles, you'll find a deeper sense of confidence that no external judgment can shake. Try reflecting on your day tonight. Did you let others' opinions affect your actions? Leave a comment below and share your experience. And if you found this video helpful, subscribe for more practical Stoic guides to help you live confidently and with purpose.